Well, the opposition Syrian National Council is meeting in Turkey to choose a new president. Burhan Ghalioun resigned from his post amid accusations that he was monopolising power. Al Jazeera's Anita McNaught is following the story in Istanbul. And Anita, I hear that, according to insiders, a Kurdish activist has been tipped to take his place. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, we understand that the issue is not going to go even to a formal vote, but by consensus, they have selected Abdulbaset Sieda to be the man who follows on from Burhan Ghalioun as the chairman of the Syrian National Council. It is, some might say, the classic poison chalice. The Syrian National Council has pleased almost no one in the year or so that it's been in existence. Burhan Ghalioun, perhaps unfairly, has acted as a lightning rod for criticism of the Syrian National Council. His decision to resign was taken back in May when, after meeting with representatives of people from inside Syria, it was brought to his attention quite how much credibility the Syrian National Council did not have among Syrians who were involved in the uprising on the ground. He said, there's no point in me being chairman unless I'm a unity candidate. So when we've found someone to replace me, I will then step down. That person to replace him seems to be Mr. Sieda. Whether he, as a Kurdish representative, will be the unity candidate the Syrian National Council needs and is looking for, or whether he's there as a transitional candidate, what will happen next month when the whole thing, and the Syrian National Council runs month by month at the moment, when the whole issue is up for a vote again, is another question. And of course, it hasn't even been a formal vote. The selection of the man to succeed Burhan Ghalioun has apparently been made informally among members. So we don't even know how much support this new man has, but we do know that he must have the backing of the very powerful Muslim Brotherhood contingent in the Syrian National Council. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there, because they're the real power behind the throne.
Anita, it must be much concern that if the Syrian National Council themselves can't form a unified front, how in the world are they going to form unity in Syria against Bashar al-Assad's government?
Well, the point's been made many times. You're absolutely right. The problem is that the uprising, such as it is, needs an office to liaise with the wider world. The people inside Syria are so isolated and so cut off by the actions of the Assad regime, by the fight they're engaged in, by the repression domestically, by the fact that there are no safe telecommunications inside the country. It's impossible for an opposition group other than those sanctioned by the Syrian government, and therefore in the minds of many people inside Syria completely contaminated, to actually operate with a free voice. So there needs to be an address outside, but that address outside has been comprised of people, some of them who've lived outside Syria for many years, and as such disqualify themselves from being able to speak for the Syrians inside. You have an enormous problem here, but I have to say it's a problem that is absolutely typical of the problem that is Syria. Syria is an immensely divided country, and perhaps you could say that part of that is to do with the way that the Assad regime has managed to maintain power over 40 years. It's been a divide and rule strategy consistently, and that's paying dividends now in terms of the problems Syrians are having finding one voice. But an increasing number of Syrians recognize that unity in the opposition is one of their biggest challenges. The trouble is, in dealing with it, what we seem to see at the moment is a new pro-unity group setting up every month. We've just had a new military group, the Syrian Revolutionary Council, set up in the last week and announced their formation, and on it goes. I mean, at some point, perhaps someone will step forward who most Syrians seem to like, but getting to that is painful in the extreme. Most painful, it has to be said, for the Syrians themselves.
Anita McNaught with an update for us on the Syrian crisis. Thank you.